What up, everybody? You're now tuned into Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. Shout out to all my listeners, whether you're watching the replay, the playback on YouTube or on my audio platforms. Thank you for tuning in. But today's topic, as you see, I got my host with me, Sean Taylor, back again. It's been a while. I don't remember the last show we did, but it's been a while on my platform. But we getting back to it, baby. We getting back to it. You see the topic, high value man equals high value target. Now, you would say, well, what do you mean by that? So let's take, just a high value man, for example. He's making a certain amount of money. So let's say he's making upwards of 90K or so. He has status. He has, because they can go into looks, money, status, game. We're talking about a man that's in demand, a man that's wanted, a man that has things going on, of course. And so when you become this type of man, you become a target. A lot of guys don't know that. A lot of guys want to be the rappers, want to be the athletes. They want to be all the whether it's the drug dealers or whatever guy you grew up and you perceive this guy as high value. Women wanted to be with him and guys wanted to be him. Those type of guys. Hey, heavy is the head who wears that crown, because a lot of guys don't know. You start out, it's a good life you may be living, but a lot comes with that. Hey, it's just like Spider-Man. With great power becomes great responsibility. What you think about that, Mr. Taylor?
Uh, yeah, it does, man. You know,
Great responsibility.
not, when I was younger, man, it was just like, you know, you just love getting them kills. But as you
Yeah.
get older, and you kind of, you just move different as um, life gets better for you. You start making more money. You get more better established, um, and you become very. How can I say it? And not all men. Just I'm talking about the wise ones. The wise men who don't entertain fools or nonsense. So you move a little bit differently, and you look at um, once you get more established, you look at the whole realm of things. You know, how is this going to be? Is this person selfish or selfless? I mean, there's different factors, and then, you know, how is things upstairs? You know what I'm saying? How is because um, as the older I've gotten, I was like, okay, yeah. I see them looks, but how that mindset is though, because that mindset is going to determine how we move with each other, how she talks to me, how she treats me, how does she invalidate my feelings, or
Yeah.
does she care about what a brother's going through mentally, or anything like that? Is it going to be one of those situations to where it's just all about her wants and needs, and and my and mine wants and needs going to be neglected? And you can find out that just being observant and just pretty much just by watching. So
Yeah.
um, my take on that, man, is you know oh boy started that high value man stuff. What's his name?
Oh well, Kevin, he always say that. He tell people, he say, I did not create this. It's gotten popular more as he said it because people have heard him say it. But he said
Right.
it's not a term that has come up with, but he has made it popular.
Right, he definitely has made it popular, man. It's not a term that I use.
Yeah.
um, if you watch closely then what a person is doing in their life, you can see what their value is, or see what their value is not. You
Yeah.
know, um, in any realm of things. Uh, that's just my take on that. But
Yeah.
for me, it's all about just just moving differently and seeing how that thought process is upstairs. And a lot of people is not mentally in tune with nothing, man. They just kind of go based off just looks. If you just go on based off looks, do your thing. I mean, that's all you care about. But if you're trying to look for something more fulfilling, something meaningful, something that has some substance, you got to look beneath the skin,
Yeah.
you know, to pretty much determine what you're gonna get, be.
Oh yeah, because it's like Winston Churchill says, success is not final, failure is not fatal. So yeah, he's a high value man today, but
Right,
he could lose it all tomorrow. And
right.
where's his mentality? Because depending on his mentality, he could lose it all today and not get it back. But if he has a certain mindset, he's like, "Oh, I've been here before. I've tried and I failed, and I can get right back to where I was, no problem." Let's see. Lisa Reed says, you need to see people in all seasons. Yeah, you do. But my reasoning for bringing this up and talking about it, it goes into that, but also to the young guys who aspire to be like these guys and understand the pitfalls that come with being these guys, because it's not all bliss. It's not all showing off for the gram. It's not all money, hoes and clothes and all of that. It's not. No, no. Number one, there's work to be done. There's work, always constant work you're going to have to put in. Now, while doing that work, other people see this work you put in and they see the results of the work you put in, and now you become a target. So, for example, I have a couple of guys just as an example of being a target. So take Chris Brown, for example. Chris Brown was just pretty much vindicated on the case where he had a sexual assault accuser accuse him of assaulting her on a yacht, at a boat in Miami at a yacht party. So 8 months later, she left a voicemail, and but she sent him text messages talking about, this is the best D I ever had. I just want to mess with you again, and I see you picking up the phone, but you're not saying anything. You're hanging up, and basically begging to be back with this guy. And after he dropped those receipts, she dropped the lawsuit. But she gets to stay anonymous and goes on with her life. And dude, think about the things that could have happened to him. Just all because you mad because he decided he didn't want to deal with you anymore. And that's just one instance. If Chris Brown worked at Taco Bell, he wouldn't be going through this for
No,
certain.
no,
It's because of who he is.
yeah. And that's the sad thing, man. It's like, but my thing about it is that I mean, it's the game. I mean, did you really think this dude was just gonna drop everything and just be with you? I mean, you know, some men, you know, you divvy up them cookies, they gonna eat them. I mean, they
Yep.
just gonna they gonna take it. I mean, and you want to fault a guy for something that you consciously, a decision that you consciously made, but then now you're trying to cause negative static in that person's life when the choices was consensual on both ends and with both parties.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think that is pretty foul in our society. A man could be way cross country. A man could be in another state. A man could be nowhere in the vicinity. And a woman can go and accuse a man of something and he has to fight to prove his innocence. Man, you know what?
Yeah.
Just get BS. It is not, there is no such thing as innocent or proven guilty. If that's the case, I wouldn't be in handcuffs and y'all wouldn't be, dragging my candy ass to jail. So
Yeah.
the bottom line is it is guilty to prove an innocent.
Yeah.
It's
And
innocent proven
And
guilty.
Sean, it amazes me how many men don't know what you just said. They don't know the laws. They don't know that a woman could go into any police station right now, no matter
Yeah,
what town she is, no matter what place she in. You could live in Timbuktu, and she go to JSO police department and file a complaint against you saying you did something to her. They have to go and get you. They got to put a warrant out for your arrest because they've been alerted to something that you may have done. And since they have that information, they have to act on it, because if they don't, and I do something to someone else, they're held liable for what I have done because they knew what type of person I was, or they knew about a previous incident. And
right,
it's up to me to prove that I didn't do it.
right. You got to go through all that stuff. Man may lose his job. His reputation may be tarnished. I mean, whole different things that he's got to do. And then even when those charges are dropped, you know, just like in the case of Deshaun Watson, yeah, them charges are dropped, but people still going to depict him as that.
They people are pissed off, dude. They talking about, well, him not getting charged criminally doesn't mean that nothing's happened, and he should still face justice. And I'm like, yo, a, a jury sat and looked at all the evidence, and they said there's nothing here criminally.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Deshaun and his team knew that there was nothing criminally, which is why they invited it. They invited it in. They invited the investigation because Deshaun's, and we were going to talk about Deshaun. Deshaun's fault here is that he kept his circle was too big, and he was not diligent in who he dealt with. He
Right.
was just out there dealing with it. He was meeting these girls off Instagram. Like, he didn't properly vet them. He didn't get no background information on them. Probably nothing. He just saw this girl. They had a conversation. They talked. She's a pseudo masseuse. We gonna lose that term loosely. Masseuse. She's a masseuse apparently, and he got services from her, and supposedly things went on doing these services. Now, me personally, I don't believe that these women were masseuses because some of them are being investigated for not being masseuses and not having massage therapy licenses. So you can
Right.
kind of put that together on what was going on there. I'm just saying. But let's get this comment right here. It's Miss Erica Nanton. She said, so what should actual RAPE victims do then? Not report it? Yeah, YouTube don't like that word, so we're gonna keep it light. No, you should report it. I mean, they talk about all the time how women don't report right away. They report years later, weeks later. They don't report it right then. You should always report. I'll never discourage you from reporting something that happened to you. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the ones who reported it, and then the receipts come out that it didn't happen. Two totally different subjects. This does not diminish the women who things really happen to. That's where the conversation always gets lost. People get in their feelings. Oh, women this and women that. Oh, okay, I understand. Women suffer, but men don't. That
Right.
that it's come on now. That's being insensitive. We're talking about the men and how it has affected them. We know what women go through. We know what affects them,
Yeah.
and they are the. Go ahead.
And B, this is the thing. I don't know. You know, you can a man could be trying to really explain himself thoroughly in his demeanor and conversation and just being calm, just really trying to explain himself. When you bring up the tick for tack thing, that means you're not comprehending what's being said. So if I'm trying to explain to you this is what the situation is, if a woman is trying to explain to me the situation, I'm not going to point out, well, you did this, you did that. I'm like, what are we, five? I'm like, well, the maturity has to kick in at some point and that's the problem with us, man. We don't active listen. We listen to respond. We don't listen to comprehend and understand, and that's where the huge disconnect is between men and women. There's, it seems like in this country, women are so justified in everything they do, um, explaining everything they do. Man, we're just trying to get our point across to you. We're not saying that that what that person did was wrong. I mean, was right or whatever. We're not condoning it. We're just trying to get you to see the whole. We're trying to get you to see the big picture, the whole entire picture, not just part of the picture, but the whole entire picture. And a lot of our women, they just, you can make a post of positivity, and they'll say something like, well, that goes for both sides. That goes for both parties. I'm like, it's like where's the understanding? Because if you always are trying to point, it's all about the equality. It's all about the equality. We're talking about a problem. This has nothing to do with equality right now. We're talking about an issue that needs to be rectified, that needs to have some sort of resolve. But then you're pointing out, oh, that works for both sides. I'm like, and that's why men feel as if you invalidate these situations, you invalidate their problems, you invalidate their feelings, because he can have a huge problem, listen to yours, try to work that out, but when it comes to him, it's tick for tack. But what about us? Man, you got the whole world on your side. You got the whole world on your side. Ladies, y'all don't understand. The whole world are on y'all side. Ain't nobody on the men's side. We're
Yeah.
talking about men who have been wrongly accused of things because a woman has an agenda, a motive. She's got a
Mm-hmm.
reason what she's trying to do. She is plotting schemes on men out here. Now, if you want to condone that sucker shit, you a sucker too in my book. And I'll let any woman know that in her face. And I would say it as professional as possible. I'm not gonna I don't need to raise my voice at you. I can let you know you're an idiot in a very calm, relaxed demeanor. Because if you condone sucker shit that these women out here are doing to men, then you are a sucker too. Go ahead and look at yourself in the mirror. You a sucker because you condone sucker shit. Because that's what exactly it is. These women are getting away with sucker shit, and other women are backing them, condoning that sucker shit. You are sucker too. But here's the thing, y'all like to talk about karma. Oh, that thing comes back around. Karma has no justification whether you have a penis or a vagina. I'm gonna let you know that. It does come back around. It does a 360. It just ain't caught you yet. But it does come back around. Be careful. Be very careful. You know, the victim mentality and this and that stuff. That karma is real. I it,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just be careful out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get it. She said, "How do you know the difference immediately between the women who have actually been sexually assaulted versus who haven't, without allowing for an investigation, no matter what?" Well, everything that I'm speaking on, this has already happened, and pretty much it's already been decided. I'm not speaking on a situation that the guy either is still under investigation. That's like Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion. There's no real need to speak on it right now because it's still they're still going through with their proceedings, and we don't know what has happened. Tory say he's innocent, Meg said he's not. So we're trying to that stuff like that. I'm not speaking on that because it's still up in the air. But Chris Brown, he dropped the receipts. Deshaun Watson, he just went before a jury. The rapper Duty Low, he went. He did a lie detector test, and then the girl stalked him after the lie detector test proved he didn't do what he did, what she said he did to her son. And let's see, was it Jeff Gladney? Jeff Gladney got cut from the Minnesota Vikings last year. He lost a whole year of his career and his guaranteed first round pick salary with the 5th year option. And I think he just signed with the Cardinals, but he had to prove that he didn't do what his baby mama said he did.
Exactly.
Let's
Exactly.
see. And as far as investigation, we're going to invite it in, especially if I didn't do anything. I got no problem with it. Investigate. Let's see. I want to see all of it. Oh, here she go. Here she go. False sexual assault accused only count for less than 1% of sexual assaults that even get reported. Most even don't get reported. Right. So you know what that means? That means most don't get reported on either side. That means
Right.
men and women don't report it. That don't mean just women don't report it. Dude, if you want to do it side by side, men don't report anything that happens to them
Yeah.
because they don't want to be seen as soft.
Exactly. Exactly.
If that's the route you want to go about stuff not being reported, the things women have gotten away doing stuff to men and men never said anything about it, that list is long, baby. Come on.
Right.
Because all you got to do is say something that didn't happen, and people looking at me sideways. You can't win. You can't win this argument, man.
Yeah. And
Not
that's the
this.
you and you got to be open minded. Um, the comments and it's coming from a place of a closed minded person. You're not looking. You got to have an open mind to look at the and look at both sides. You know, it's like I spoke on that there's two sides to a coin and there's two sides to a dollar bill. So you mean to tell me there's just one side? Because when you hear one side, see, my thing about it is,
All
man,
right.
intelligence is not gonna never get intelligence is never offended by facts, and these we're talking about statistical facts here. So intelligence is never going to get offended by it, but you got to understand that there's two sides to everything. There's two.
Hold on. Hold on. I can't hear you. You having the issue. There we go. I hear you. You hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Let's see. I'm gonna get some of these comments until you can hear me again. Let's see. A woman can
Yeah.
cry rape. Oh, nah, dang, I said it. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Okay. See, Lisa Reed said a woman can cry assault. and the man they accused arrested immediately, no investigation. Yes, it can happen. Hey, Jakari say, I just knew Sean Taylor was finna say jive ass turkeys. He said he just knew you go say jive turkeys.
What's up, my boy? What's up, my man? What's up, my dude? What's going on?
What's up, man? He say, all right, here she goes.
All
Say,
right.
seems like the bigger problem is men realizing how men actually get away with sexual assault because most women don't even report it. The report rate of sexual assault is far lower than the amount of actual sexual assaults. Hold on. That they say the report rate is far lower than the amount. The report rate. Well, that's an issue then. That's an issue. If women are being assaulted, they need to report it. Report it. Same with guys. I'll tell guys the same thing because men can't complain about situations like this and them being falsely accused if they don't report it, if they don't fight it. Because it's guys right now. They're going through the same thing these guys are going through, and they're not reporting a thing. They're just taking their lumps and they're just moving on.
Right.
You see, you have shady women trying to ruin men's lives because they don't want them. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. There are actual victims out there, and we're not trying to diminish the actual victims. You say, men report sexual assault even less. Absolutely, yeah. But when they finally do, would you really think it means that there is a bigger problem with false accusations than with sexual assault actually being rampant? Or does the lack of understanding only apply to when it's women's? When it's women? Hold on, I got to read
Right.
that one more
I
time.
agree.
You got what she
Yeah,
you
you
got
gotta
what
read
she
that
said.
again, B.
Yeah, so
Oh, B.
men
No.
report sexual assault even less. Absolutely, okay. She agreed with that. She said, but when they finally do, would you really think it means that there is a bigger problem with false accusations than with sexual assault being rampant, or does that lack of understanding only apply to when it's women? You say, so does it mean is there a bigger
Hmm.
problem with false accusations? There is a problem with false accusations. We're talking about it now. That's an issue.
Right.
That's a big issue. Yes, Miss Nanton, false accusations are a big issue because you don't need anything tangible. You don't have to prove anything. All you need is my name. That's it. You
That's
don't have
it.
to prove a thing. It's up to me. If I accuse a woman of something like that, she's not gonna have to prove anything. I'm gonna have to prove that she did it. That's how things go. It's always like that. You can't cry about this supposed stereotype or it's the thing about double standards and where you have advantages. See, you want to talk about where women don't have the advantage, and you want to rectify that. But when when we want to talk about men where men don't have an advantage, oh, it's crickets on that. Nobody wants to talk about that. It's super quiet on that. It's like, oh, men don't have an advantage here. Okay, cool. Oh, what? Women don't have an advantage here. Hey, we need to talk about that.
Right. Right. Right.
You're
Right.
not coming to this
It's
argument in
funny.
good faith.
Oh, you're not. So and that's and see, here's the thing. When you start calling women out on the factual things that's happening in America, they always get easily offended. Let me go back. Let me retort. Intelligence never gets offended by facts. You can take that however you want to. I really don't care. I ain't got no dog in your fight. But I'm, as a man, seeing, experiencing, as a father, seeing, experiencing, you ain't got a leg to stand on with me. Okay, now if you can't be empathize and sympathize with what us men go through, don't expect us to empathize and sympathize with what y'all go through. Because if you're gonna be fair, if any woman in my book, if you're a real woman, you're gonna empathize and sympathize with both parties. It's not
Yeah.
all about you. And
Yep.
and if you're not thinking out the box, open-mindedly, I don't have nothing to do with your thought process. That's something that you're gonna have to work on your own. You're a grown woman. You got to work on your thought process. You got to work on that. You know what? Maybe I am closed-minded. Maybe I am a little bit judgmental. Maybe I am just anti-women, and that's just it. It's all about us. I don't care about what the man go through. I don't care that this and this and that and that and that. Women show how they really truly feel about the male species based off of what comes out their mouth, what also connects to your mindset. That means your mindset is trash. So whatever, if this is trash, whatever comes out there is going to be even worse. So you need to do a reevaluation. A lot of women on themselves. You know, I mean, you, all the things that they want. I want a good man. Dang, you ain't even a good woman in your thought process. So what makes you think you deserve a good man because you just say it or think it? You got to be able to think about what that brother goes through. You got to quit invalidating these dudes and what they go through. Now, if you want it to be fair and you want to be right, you can't argue. See, here's the thing, man. I tell you, man. One of my clients was talking to me about this today. She's like, "Listen, you can't be a woman coming talking to you, because I'm gonna break you down intelligently and educationally. Then you're gonna kind of feel dumb because I'm gonna come to you with the facts, and you ain't gonna be able to refute it or rebuttal it. But you got to be a. I'm gonna listen to any woman if she thinking about us. If she ain't thinking about us, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Period. So I'm just gonna move on. I'm already mentally checked out, and I'm just being
Yeah.
honest with you because we are always trying to. Men are. It's in our nature to fix it.
Yeah.
Any problem. It's in our
Yeah.
nature to fix it. We are driven by our egos. We're driven by our egos negatively and positively. Our egos are fuel to get things happen. See, to better understand your man, you got to take the time to understand his thought process in order to love him right so he can love you better. But y'all don't want to hear that. That's another conversation. They don't want that, because it's
Yeah.
all about the whole the competition. I keep telling women, you got to tuck that penis away in order for us to have a conversation. It's not going to work anyway. I'm not, listen, I'm not having no penis measuring contest with you, and we ain't doing no penis sword fight neither. So I'm not doing that with you. So
Yeah.
if you that type of chick, now you need to exit stage left, because I don't swing that way. I like women. I don't like nothing else. So
Yeah.
take that however you want to take that, America. Whatever.
Jakari say there should be disciplinary action for proving false accusations. Sean Oakman's accuser should have gotten a book. Yo, Jakari, speaking of Sean Oakman, I don't know if you remember Sean Oakman. Sean Oakman was the defensive end from Baylor. Dude, he looked like I think he was about 6'8", 6'9". They had that picture of him with his jersey crop top looking like a cyborg, right? Remember, he got in trouble because the girl cried assault on him. And he lost his entire career. He's
Right.
in the CFL now, but he's been vindicated. And now we don't know who that girl is, and she's going on living her life, doing her thing, getting in her career, and no penalty. She's facing zero penalty. That women face zero penalty for lying on men all they do. Anytime they do it. I heard a guy say it best, Sean. He said, female to male manipulation is fine. But when it's male to female supposed manipulation, it's going to be penalized every single
Oh
time.
yeah, every day,
All right, let's see.
every single day,
She said,
and twice on
"I don't."
Sunday.
I don't think you understood me. So let me rephrase. False accusations are an issue, but if men came forward more with sexual assault, would you think men making false sexual assault accusation was the biggest problem here? Would you realize that men are actually being assaulted even more than we realize as the actual bigger problem? So
Right.
I get okay. I get what you're saying. Um, realize there's actually a bigger problem? No, because men are not going to come out and falsely accuse women of sexual assault. It's not something that we do. We don't have a track record of doing that. If it has been done, I'm sure you can look it up, whatever, send it to me, whatever. I'm sure it's been done. But man, I want to see it. I've never seen it, never heard about it or anything like that. And if they didn't do anything to where they went to the police about it. Like DMX talked about one of his baby mothers who, when he was, I don't know if he was drunk or asleep or whatever, she drugged him and she pretty much had sex with him and got pregnant. And DMX talked about that, but he didn't file any charges on her. So men don't falsely accuse women of these things. This is the issue that you're talking about. Women do it. We know women do it. We've seen women do it. I have 5 instances just now, right now, of women doing it, and that's just from the last week or so. And Jakar just gave me a 6th. So it's an issue. This is a problem. I could see if both men and women were doing it, but this is women doing this, man. And what it does, it makes it bad for the women this actually happens to. We talk about it all the time. The boy who
Right.
cried wolf.
Right.
Let's see.
Mm.
Lisa Reed says you have to be everything you require. Yes, ma'am. Your partnership is a place to give, not to receive. They don't like that one. You say
Oh,
honestly,
they
the
don't
day I
like
hear
that,
him,
Lisa.
yeah, he's honestly the day I hear a man that's actually been falsely accused of rape, I say I don't like what's happening to me, but I would rather go through this and have my innocence revealed than any woman ever feel she shouldn't report. But that's what that this is what Deshaun Watson did. Deshaun Watson didn't come out and say, "Oh, these are whores. They're liars, dude. These girls are prostitutes. I hooked up with them. They came and gave me rubbing tugs, and they just mad." No, he didn't say that, did he? He said nothing until the case was done. And they invited
Hmm.
the investigation. They cooperated with the police because he didn't want to come off the way
Right.
that you're talking about, Erica. So what are we talking about? Let's see. Well, hold on. Let me finish what
He
you say. Say
handled
even
that.
though he's say that again, Sean.
Deshaun Watson handled that perfectly. He didn't say nothing.
He ain't say a word.
But he's, you know, when you innocent, you ain't got to go through them hoops that them people want. Now I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna fall back on cool. It's gonna come out in the wash, and y'all gonna finally see it. And now everybody in their feelings because first off, I ain't believe none of it. I ain't believe none of it. I didn't believe nothing at all. I'm always gonna go what my mama taught me. She said, "Baby, I'm gonna tell you this." My mom told me this when I was 15 years old. She said, "You will never be able to lie better than us.
Yep, I've heard that. I've heard women tell me that all the
You
time.
will
Can't
never
beat
be able
us.
to lie better than us. You will never be able to be. We're smarter. We're more conniving. We way more manipulative. We are cunning in our moves. You know, if we you ain't want to get technical. The good book says uh, the ways of a woman are unknown. That unknown scares the hell out of me. Her ways are unknown. Her moves are ever changing.
Yeah.
That means when you sleeping, she looking at you sleep. I have woke up and a woman looking at me just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, in my lethargic state, I'm thinking, what in the hell was she thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
And just staring at me. I mean, just literally staring at me like she got some dirt on me. So my thing about it is that man, I've been schooled. I was schooled by a strong black educated woman. Man, y'all can't come at me with that nonsense. Sorry, step your nonsense game up because that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
I ain't believe none of that stuff about Sean. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see, hey, but Lisa say those bees need to be arrested and prosecuted just like the men. For sure.
There you go, Lisa. Amen to that.
Hey,
Amen to
hey,
that.
and yeah, Oakman was supposed to go first round. He doesn't have a career. Hey, okay, let's not even take it to Oakman. Brian Banks. You remember Brian Banks? Brian Banks
Oh
lost his
yeah,
career at like
they made a
16
movie out
years
of
old.
Byron. They made a movie. They made a movie. They made a movie
Made a
about it.
movie
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much
Yeah.
lost his NFL career about a false allegation.
Right.
And all they did was kiss. The girl admitted it. All they did was kiss from a false allegation.
Yeah.
And what she say? Oh, she
Yeah.
back. She say the problem here is that you all don't understand the scale. Men report sexual assault far less, but as adults, men are actually sexually assaulted far less, and adult men even fear sexual assault far less than adult women do. I mean, I want to know where you measuring that at. I would like to know because is this man in jail? Because I would prove that that's false if this man is in jail. I'm sure he's in fear of being taken on a regular basis. He got to get his shoulders up and his muscles up so he don't get taken. So come on, what are we talking about here? But this is once again, Sean, that I suffer more than you do. No, it's I suffer,
Exactly.
you suffer. I suffer,
Right.
you suffer. We can't do comparative suffering. This is what black people do all the
Can't
time.
do that.
We argue about who's
Right.
suffering the most during this struggle Olympics. We're all suffering, but
Every one
you
of
it's a
us,
badge
man.
of honor because
Every
you
one of us.
suffering the more.
Right. That part right there. That part right there, sir. That part right there. Yeah. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
do the back and forth with you. I don't care who you is. You know, well, that's what you think. You know, you're entitled to think what you think. I ain't. No, I don't do that.
yeah,
Next.
right. So of course, there's more women
Right
involved as
on.
victims here, but it doesn't mean they lie more about sexual assault than men. They are simply just a higher percentage of sexual assault than men. Period. Adult men who are not incarcerated. Okay, yeah, for sure. But
Right.
hold on, you said doesn't mean they lie more. Didn't say they lied more. I would guarantee you they lied more than men do about sexual assault. I'll bet the farm on that one right there because men don't lie about those
Right.
things.
Right. How many?
Because they're not reporting it.
How many women are in jail based off a sexual assault lie that a man told on a woman? See, this is how you
Mm.
flipping it, but you ain't. Don't please don't come back on this. So now you're gonna make yourself look really really bad. How many women are in jail based off a sexual assault lie that a man has went to the law enforcement and told them is how many women in jail over that opposed to men? All right, case
Yeah,
closed, Your Honor.
yeah, yeah,
Questions. I mean, what you think?
yeah.
And if you
It's
come back with any, I have a mute response because America really laughing at your response because you come back on that one, you just need to log off. I mean, don't do that to yourself because what you gonna say? Can you pull up any statistics on that? I mean, I'm just curious. Inquiring minds want to know because I don't. Brandon, have you ever heard of that? Jakari? I mean, can a man out there help me? How many women are in jail based on
hey,
this
hey.
thing is laughable, man.
Lisa say zero. You already know.
You see my point? That's my whole entire point. I don't get that, man. I don't get that, man. But I digress at this point. I'm digressing. So
Oh,
it
she
is
said
what it
we're not
is.
all suffering equally or for the same reasons, and understanding those differences is called empathy, not a badge of honor. But see that badge, that empathy you're talking about, is going one way in this conversation. You have not once talked about the men that I
Not
just talked
once.
about and their suffering. Not go back and look at this.
Mm-mm.
You didn't talk about it once. Go read what you put. You didn't talk about it once. And this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she has a son. You have a son. Your son can easily go through what we're talking about right now. He's not exempt.
Right. Nope.
And if
So ain't.
he makes himself out of halfway decent man, halfway decent, have a little something going on, he's gonna be a target then. Come on now,
Right.
come on.
Right.
But see,
Right.
I understand, Miss Nanny. You're not a man, so you're a woman. So you're always going to come from a woman perspective. And what you've been taught is that women suffer more. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That women are taught that. Women are taught men, big bad boogeyman, Mister from the color purple, especially in the black community. We Mister from color purple, and all your grandmothers were Sealy. That's what you've been taught, and that's what you've been told. But you have no idea how hard it is to be a man day to day. You think you know, and
Mm.
what you do is you compare all men with the top men that you see. But the top men that got everything going on, there's a bunch that ain't up there in that echelon that are suffering. And you care nothing about it. And it is what it is. I'm sure they don't care if you care.
Yeah.
But don't sit here and act like
Right.
everything peaches and rainbows over here and I'm just a man and I wake up and everything hunky dory because I'm a man. No, I have the burden of performance. You don't.
Right. Yep. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
for sure, man.
that was
Well,
perfect, B.
yeah, so we at 5:50. Let's go ahead and end it up because we got places to be. So what's your
Yeah,
final thoughts on this? I
we
didn't
made
I didn't even. Go ahead. I
Uh,
didn't even really get into all the guys
my
I wanted
final
to
my
talk
final
about.
thought is that we need to go in hard in the paint on a part two of this.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
we do. We
we
do.
gon' we gonna have to be we gonna have to. My whole final thoughts on this thing, man, is this is a perfect example, and I'm glad that people get to see this. This is a perfect example of it's just about us. It's a
Yeah.
perfect example. Y'all seen it, plain as day. It is a perfect example. They don't care nothing about us. Perfect example. Perfect is perfect. Got sons and still don't care nothing about us. Perfect example. So my thing about it is that again, there's a huge disconnect. Huge disconnect. Society has brainwashed and bamboozled the hell out of our women. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. It's it's I mean it is it's ridiculous. But my final thoughts is this: you must take judgments out in order for us to have real conversations, to really listen and to understand each other. Until judgments are taken out, I mentioned it the other day. I think I just mentioned that yesterday. Be on the podcast. Until
Yeah.
judgments are taken out, no one's going to listen
Yeah.
because there's so much judgments. Until women start listening to how men feel, what they go through, everything that you want, you're going to continue not to get. When it's all about you, let me ask this question. My final thought: when it's all about you, women, when it's all about you, how does that work? It ain't how he feels, what he goes through. It don't even freaking matter. But when it's all about you, how does the dynamic of that work? It doesn't. It never does.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you have to absolutely, unequivocally have an open mind in order to garnish understanding. If your mind is closed and it's all about you, ladies, you're going to continuously get what you have always have gotten. You are not going to there is a man of standard. Let me say a man of standard. Okay, a man who knows his place and his purpose in this world. He's solidified in his position. You're not going to be able to move that guy. You're going to move the dude with no spine. You're going to move the dude that is weak. You're going to move the dude that don't even know who he is as a man. You pretty much is with a female. That's what you're with a man that's a female. That's what you got. That's my final thought. But you're a real man of purpose. He ain't gonna be with you. He ain't.
Yeah. No.
Because your thought process is going to throw him off because he's mentally in tune with himself as a man. A man that's mentally in tune with himself ain't going to deal with you, period.
Yeah.
And you can be offended or whatever. Nobody's trying to. I got a daughter. I got a 6-year-old daughter. And let me say this perfectly clear, and let me break it down to this. It's perfectly broken down. I'm not raising her to think like none of y'all out there. I am raising her to think the opposite of y'all because that's a huge problem between men and women. I'm not going to allow my daughter to be society, brainwashed by society to tell her what's acceptable, to tell her, she the prize and it's all about her and forget about him and he's supposed to be doing it. No, 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 no. I don't want my daughter having that toxic mindset. I'm going to teach her to be a strong, she's half Asian, half black. She's going to be educated, smart, intelligent, but she is going to have an open mind to listen to her husband, to listen to her man, to not invalidate how he feels and not invalidate what he goes through, to not invalidate, especially if he's a black man, what he has been through in what his ancestors have been through in the history of this world. Sometimes I feel our women, y'all may just put a sheet over your head. Because I mean, are you for the black man? Are you for us? Do you care about us, or do you don't? Because I don't
Yeah,
I don't know I don't know where you stand.
yeah.
I don't know where you stand. But you
Shoot,
got
look
to
at
have
Ryan
an
Coogler.
open mind. Oh, what? You got to have an open mind to have a sense of clarity. That's my
Yeah,
final thought.
for sure. All right, I'm gonna get her last two comments, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Put a bow on this thing, and get out of here. She said, I literally talked
Right.
about how men don't report sexual assault enough and that there are some of the most underreported victims. You did mention that. She said, men have higher
Yeah.
suicide rates than women. This is true. Black men have higher incarceration
True.
rates than women. This is true. So there's plenty of
True.
suffering happening to men, but the problem is you don't realize the very system that gives you the burden of performance is the same system that allows for sexual assault of women being prevalent. Hey, that same system is slanted towards you. So women are the majority voters in this country. So if you don't like what's happening with women when it comes to these cases, you need to vote to change it because you have all of the power when it comes to voting because you're 60% of the voters. So that's why everything is going to be slanted towards you. And let's not act like that whole patriarchy thing. This is not a system that is just held up by a bunch of old white men. Women are a part of that too. Women in powerful places have
Right.
been manipulating and have been doing the same thing that these men have been doing. But men have been the face of it. That is why you blame the men. But come on, dog. It's women in powerful places been there for a long time, and they have say so in those rooms as well. Come on now.
That's right.
This is not just a man thing. Women are doing the same thing too. Because, dude, just like
Yeah. The
take
world has changed. It's shifted. It is shifted.
yeah, yeah. Just like the womanists thought that that was good for women. No, women are finding out. No, they're getting horrible results from doing what they told them to do. Women have led women
Right.
astray. Let's see. She said, "Men
Yeah.
who actually strive to understand his woman, just as you are demanding women strive to understand men, is really what's healthy." Of course, Erica, that's always what's healthy. Because what's the point of even dealing
Yeah.
with that man or woman if you're not trying to understand them? You're
Exactly.
right. There's no point. There's no point in dealing with this person if you're not trying to understand them. And one thing about and shout
But
out to Erica, she's cool with people. She did a show with me and she argued
she
with me.
brought Erica's brought up she's brought up some major good points that we both agree with.
Yes, yes, she did. She did.
We're not disagreeing with your points.
No,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
appreciate her.
Great
She came
points.
on. She argued with the WNBA with me. I won that argument, Erica. Just so you know, if you want round two, you can have it anytime. I won that argument because she didn't even watch the WNBA, but she was there defending it, which was hilarious.
That's funny.
Let's see.
That is
Let's
funny
see
right there.
what Lisa Reed said. She said, go ahead and preach, Mr. Taylor. For sure. She said there are black people who do the same thing as white people in white supremacy. It doesn't mean that black people suddenly run the world. Yes, women are out there imitate the system, but that doesn't mean we suddenly run the world. No, it doesn't mean you run the world, but that doesn't mean you don't have power and influence to shape the world for you, which is what you have done for the last 40 years. Come on now. We are in a gynocentric country. You cannot refute that. It is about women. Go down to family and divorce court and tell those men that it's not about the women. Go tell them that. Go tell the family and divorce court men it's not about women down there and see what they tell you. They're going to run you up out of there. But I'm going to get my final thoughts. We got to get out of here. Yeah, it's 5:58. We got to get out of here. All right, so final thoughts on this, man. High value man does equal high value target. And men, you have to understand, once you hit that certain level of success or once you are a wanted man, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. There's a young man, I can't remember his name. I don't even know if they released his name, but it's young lady, she's 22 years old. She met this guy off Instagram and she invited him over. And her boyfriend and some other guys jumped the guy, held him hostage, called his family for ransom. They beat him, they stabbed him, and they burned him alive. And the guy, yeah,
Jeez.
he's in the hospital recovering right now. And they did all
Wow.
of this because he flashed money on Instagram. I've told my little brothers, cousins, anybody, dude, don't wear your wealth. Don't be flashy. Don't see what they're doing is they're mimicking high value is what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're mimicking high value because they know the attention it's going to bring. They know the women it's going to bring. but it's also going to bring negative attention. I'm telling you. As you're finding out, I've seen at least 5 cases over the last 3 months of women helping men jump and rob men. So, hey, out here in these streets, you on Tinder, you on Plenty of Funky Fish, you on Hinge, you on Christian, especially Christian Mingle. You on Christian Mingle thinking you getting you a nice little school marm, and she's setting you up to get robbed. So, hey,
Boy,
hey,
did you just say plenty of funky fish?
Plenty of Funky Fish.
Oh boy, that's hilarious to me. That boy
Hey,
said
anybody,
plenty. I've heard of plenty. I know plenty of fish, but that boy didn't put another word in there. Plenty of funky fish.
hey, anybody who's been in those Plenty of Fish waters, male or female, will agree that that should be the name of it because it's awful on there. It's straight up awful on Plenty of
So
Fish.
I'm gonna say this: real G's don't flash, they cheese. I'm just gonna let you know that
That's
real
it.
G's don't flash that cheese, man.
That's it.
Not at
That's
all.
it. That's it. That's it.
Come
All
on.
right, man. Let me get out of here. Let's see. Watch out for. She say, watch out for the church girls. Oh yeah, watch out for the church girls for sure. She said, Erica say, there are black people who do the same thing as white people in white supremacy, but it doesn't mean that black people suddenly run the world. Yes, women out there imitate the system, but that doesn't mean we suddenly run the world. It's about white women. Well, hey, that's power. That's the power that they have. And if you want to change the power that they have, you got to vote for it. You got to get these changes. And it's not my job to do that. Me as a black man, I got my own struggle to fight. You basically told me that we're not the same. Well, not necessarily not we're not the same, but we're pretty much separate in our issues that we have because you don't want to help me fight for what I need to fight for. Why should I assist you in helping you fight with what you need to fight for? Now that sounds bad, but that's what we're living in right now. It is what it is. I can't argue with a man who says, "You see these women, they don't care about my struggle. Why should I care about theirs?" How can I go at that man? I can't. Yeah. So, oh man, I can't hear you. You don't went out again. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, you don't went out again. Yeah. All right. So, but we finna close. We finna close it down. It's all good. Hey, make sure y'all check out Sean Taylor. Taylor made for you training. Okay, and I can hear you now.
Right,
Yeah, I can hear you now. But make sure you check out
right.
Sean Taylor, Gwen's Boy
Okay.
Mindset, Tailor Made for You. Check him out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Check me out on all my social media platforms. I appreciate y'all. Hey, this was good talk. I appreciate the ladies, Miss Erica Netton. She's a good sport. You know, hey, anytime you want to come on and debate, you're always welcome because she actually had the balls to come on and debate me. So she always get audience over here for sure. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna have to have Erica on my show.
Hey, Erica, hey, you getting popular. Hey, for sure. Hey, come on, let's
I'm gonna
talk
have to
that
have Erica
talk.
on my show.
Hey, she's
Let's
good
talk
too.
that
She
talk.
came
Let's
on.
walk that walk.
Yeah, she came on. She came on and took an L, but she was
I
good. She
know
was
she's
good.
gonna. I know she's gonna come dialed in. I know she's gonna come. She gonna come in hot.
Hey, she gonna have that paperwork like this. Yes. In 1993,
She
such
gonna
and
have
such
them
happened to
stats.
women. She's gonna have them stats for you ready, boy. Hey, she say she down. Let's
All
do it.
right,
Hey, for
man. Y'all
sure.
take it easy, man.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy, man. Well, I appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Easy.